All right. Hi. So today I've got a special guest, Michael Tuckman, who's a distributor that I've known actually for almost 2 decades, I think.
Over 2 decades. Over 2 decades.
Oh, and what was you were with Cinema Guild, and then Think Film.
Cinema Guild in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And Think Film. But since 1998, we've been supporting each other's films and theater. Yes.
And we're also roommates at Sundance, and we'll see what's going to happen with Sundance this time out in the time of COVID.
Yes, that is 10 years now. We've been roommates every year at Sundance, and it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, I appreciate that you got a poster in the background for what was one of my favorite documentaries that I saw at Sundance, and I was very proud to be able to bring that to the International Film Series. It got a nice cover. It made the cover of the Boulder Weekly. The film critic for the Boulder Weekly also loved the film. So you got huge supporters. A great movie, and still distributing a lot of great titles through Tuckman Media, including the one that we're talking about right now, which is going to be popping up on the IFS website here pretty soon, called Ella Fitzgerald, Just One of Those Things. You want to tell us a little bit about how you picked that title?
Well, sure. Well, the film is being released by Eagle Rock Entertainment. Eagle Rock is the production and film distribution end of Universal Music Group. So they actually have a wonderful library of music documentaries. And the Ella Fitzgerald film that you're going to be showing at the theater is really just an incredible piece of cinema, putting the spotlight on, as we know, the First Lady of Jazz, the First Lady of Song, or Queen Ella, as many have called her. But it's her story is a little different than the Billie Holidays of the world and other so-called crooners. Ella didn't look the part, and that's a big part of this film. I think a lot of people didn't realize that she was an orphan and between foster homes as a teenager. She was a bigger woman, which wasn't the fad in the jazz world then, and let's be honest, is tougher cut in the music industry in general now. And she relied on her voice, and it wasn't until she got on the stage at the Apollo on an open mic night that she just changed everyone's thinking about what a songstress can look and sound like.
Yeah, I really liked it because I love music, of course, but I must admit that I have a huge deficit of knowledge when it comes to scat, swing, bebop. It was all news to me, the fact that her first big break was thanks to Chick Webb, the master of the drums, what a tragic story that was in terms of the health issues that he had and how he died at 30. And also, I had no idea about the Marilyn Monroe story about how Marilyn Monroe was a huge fan and helped actually open up the theaters to Black audiences.
Right. Right.
And I didn't, and even though I've heard the Fitzgerald's Mac the Knife song, I didn't realize that she was really just improvising on the spot. I thought it was
exactly
constructed. Yeah. I was also stunned to see that there she is in Berlin, and she's making a speech about racism, and it never aired. It's just kind of. But her quote about how prejudice diehards, they're just gonna die hard, and you got to reach out to the young people to change things. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff in this doc that resonates still today. I was really appreciative of getting to know a little bit more about her in that era. And there's some really great footage too. There was I think it was about a half hour in. There's some really grainy 16 millimeter black and white footage, and that cameraman was definitely, he had some moves. So there's some very, very cool footage. Again, that's we're talking about Ella Fitzgerald, just one of those things. And if you go to the IFS website, half of the proceeds go to the IFS. So please support your local art house during this time of quarantine. And I just want to thank Tuckman for being here to join me to talk about this documentary, which he's helping us put on.
And I wanted to thank IFS and art houses across the country for embracing what we're calling virtual cinema now.
I actually,
I don't know if. Go ahead, call it. Yeah. What do you like to call it? I'm always looking for a new term.
The theatrical video, the theatrical VOD, I think is more honest. It's just because it's a theatrical title that you can't see on Netflix, and it's a title that you normally would have seen theatrically. To me, the virtual screening room just doesn't hold water because it's come on, let's not beat around the bush. You're still watching it on your laptop or your home theater system or whatever. So I think that's kind of like a Jedi mind trick that I don't think is really working. For me, theatrical VOD, honest. It's just honest. So yeah.
I think what you've said, there were times when other companies have put films out on theatrical VOD while also putting them out on standard VOD like iTunes, and I think that was just such a disgrace to what art house theaters are trying to do. I mean, let's face it, we're into month 4 now of this lockdown, and thanks to our national identity, we might be doing a few more months of this.
It might be a really long year. I hate to say
it might be a long year, and and I was really happy to watch Jiri Hari on Netflix, a really great Japanese crime series. It was 10 episodes, and I was done in early April. And I'm like, okay, that's a lot of what I wanted to see. There's only so much we can see of series, and I remember speaking with even I play soccer, and one of my teammates is by no means a cinephile. And I remember him saying to me at the beginning of the lockdown, he said, I don't want a series. I want a movie, because I want to be able to sit down and I want to be able to watch something, and in an hour and a half, 2 hours, I want to feel what that's going through. I want to feel my emotions opened up and experienced, and some kind of resolution, as opposed to checking back in the next night, a week from now, and taking a few weeks to do a series. I'm not trying to denigrate this, but it's a different experience that we get, and thankfully with theatrical VOD, you can still get these places that you're only seeing at the IFS, and you're only seeing at your local art house theater, because they're not available on other platforms. And that's what was really exciting for us, to be able to bring this to this kind of cinema.
Well, it's a interesting experiment, one born out of necessity, and
Sure.
we're definitely appreciative of all the people who are making it happen, and appreciative of the people who are actually clicking on those links. And again, these rentals go from $4 to $12, but split right down the middle. So doing a good thing. All right, Tuckles, always good to see you, and maybe we'll touch base again on another title soon. All right.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Pablo, and thanks everyone at IFS for supporting the films.